Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm NerdyAnt64 and today we're doing a very exciting video today. One of my viewers in the comment section recommended that I do a ranking of all the Little Big Planet games from worst to best. This is based on my opinions, and a quick disclaimer, I haven't actually played all the games, but I have seen videos of all of them, so I can give my opinion. Number 9, and the last one, we're including all spin-offs by the way, is Sackboy's Prehistoric Moves. The reason why, for me, it's at number 9 spot is because it's basically Planet 1. There's like 4 levels in it, and it's basically a tech demo for the PlayStation Move controller. It's one of those in-between games, kind of testing out what they could have added to LVP2, and they did end up adding to PlayStation Move controllers LVP2, so that clearly shows they really liked that game enough to put that in. This is what might be the worst game of the series. The levels aren't fun, and motion controls are absolutely awful. Number 8 is Run, Sackboy, Run. This is a mobile game, and the only way you can play Sackboy, or as Sackboy, without a PlayStation console. Now, it's a really fun mobile game. It's really fun on those bubbles, upgrading your power-ups. It's free, by the way, the jetpack, which is from the old games, the glide thing, which is new, and then you have Mac, which is also new. And then there's 11 costumes, 12 if you count the Santa one, and 13 for the Valentine's Day costumes are only available during those times. So you have to pay like $10 for them as well, so they're kind of rip-offs. But they're pretty cool. And then you have the worlds. There are 3 worlds. The reason why it's so low is because every open game is amazing, but there's not much content-wise. Content-wise, this game has almost nothing. And it's really short. All you have are 3 worlds repeat themselves. If you get any level of skill in this game, but beat those worlds with ease like I can, and then you're like, what next? There should have been way more worlds, or at the very least, DLC worlds. Maybe if you play on the PS Vita, you have DLC worlds you could buy. But not even that. And it's just way too short. Why it's number 8 on the list. Number 7 is Little Planet PSP. This game is very largely ignored for a good reason. Because the PSP was heavily limited, it was like LBP1, but with 2 layers, and the content wasn't very good. I haven't been able to experience the community levels though, because the game has been shut down since then, but it's interesting to think about. Now the reason why it's so low, and is lower than every other major LBP game, is because I found the story itself, a lot of levels were really good, but a lot of levels were really boring. Especially the puzzle-based, the levels where you're required to use your brain, use puzzle-based strategizing. There were just so many, there were way too many puzzle-based levels, which is why I ranked this so low. And it really turned me off from the game. Like, I really wanted to love it, but I just didn't enjoy it that much. But number 7 is Little Planet, 6 is Little Planet Karting. People might say put it higher. The reason why it's lower is basically is not as high on the list is because the creative mode is awful. In a 3D space, Planet Karting just couldn't figure out how to make a proper 3D space. At the time, the Dreams wasn't a thing. There were basically no 3D games that had a creative mode in them. If they were pretty rare or they were pretty shit. So it was one of the first to do this, and it was one of the first games where you could create your own tracks, but it was just severely lacking of creative mode. The actual story was really fun, full of amazing LP charm. The gameplay controls and mechanics are close to amazing. The drifting is a bit awkward, but other than that, it's exceptional and a very charming game, which is why it's just so good. It really shows how nearly every LP game has been really good. We haven't gotten any, besides maybe previous series, we haven't got any, tremendously bad Little Planet games. But number 5, top 5 now, let's go, is Little Planet PS Vita. This is a game I spent a lot of time on. I bought the PS Vita solely to play this, all stuff that are out in Little Planet PSP. I loved it. It's kind of like a PS Vita version of Little Big Planet 2. But nonetheless, I love this game to pieces. It is just so fun, it's so charming. Every level is uniquely designed. The best part of this game for me is how it takes advantage of the PlayStation, of the PS Vita. A lot of games require you to use a touchscreen, and then you can rotate the console on its side, like mini games with your friends, which you can't play with your friends. You actually can play some of these mini games with a friend. I've done it before. It's really fun, and the game in general is really good. The current mode is very fun as well, and community levels are pretty good. I haven't played the community levels, but I've seen a few videos on them. They look really good. Now, The reason why it isn't any higher is because the other games are just so good for me. And there's more personal reasons as well, but whatever. Number 4 is LBP3. This may be a controversial decision, but the reason why Planet 3 is number 4 is because the story mode is very, very good. The create mode is pretty much perfect. Most of the community levels are really good. There are a lot, if you ignore the copy and pasted levels. A lot of people complained that it was really glitchy. I personally haven't experienced any bugs, and if you go to the game now, if you ignore the online multiplayer, is horrible. If you ignore that, every other part of the game is really good. The story, though, is just way too short. The reason why this game isn't in third spot, it could be in third spot, but the story mode is simply way too short, and doesn't take advantage of any of the characters. There are so many power-ups. They bring forth to the table so many unique ideas. Like Slay is a really good idea, and there's so many great concepts. But overall, it wasn't a big enough game to have all those concepts in and have them effectively done. The mini games are all pretty fun. The community levels are kind of shit, but that's not because of the game itself. It's because of trolls. And the create mode, like I said before, is fantastic. Top 3 now. Here we go. Number 3 is Sackboy: A Big Adventure. This is the most newest game in the series, made 6 years later. I do not know it took them so fucking long. We finally got a brand new Sackboy LVP game. This game is a spin-off, maybe it's a reboot, but I'll talk about it if it's a spin-off or a reboot in another video. It is a new LVP or Sackboy game. Now, it's a 3D platform, which is brand new to the series. Well, karting was 3D, but other than that, brand new to the series, 3D platforming. And each level, aesthetically, this game has so much charm. Sound design, it actually won the award for Best Sound Design of 2020. The music in this game, every time it has amazing music. And then you have music levels, which is like when you get a classic song, Uptown Funk or Toxic by, I don't know who that's by, but you get one of those classic songs, and you have all the in a level, and you have all the enemies dance to the beat of the song, even the platforms dance to the beat, and all the platforming is nearly perfectly in sync with the music. Those levels are so good. The story itself is really fun. You have some pretty cool characters. The reason why it isn't any higher for me is because I don't really care about community or create mode. I'm fine with having none of those. But the difficulty is really bad. The difficulty scaling is awful. It gets really, really tough so often. The Night Trials are really fun because they provide a great optional way to play more difficult areas and more difficult levels, but I have to say, I'm going to do a review of this game very soon, wherever I can be able to make it, but I have to say I'm really disappointed with the difficulty. It gets way too hard, it's way too easy, and that's partly due to how shit the some of the controls are. Like, for example, there was like a rolling sponge that was like rolling clockwise, no, anti-clockwise, sorry, and I jumped on it. Instead of grabbing it, it knocked me off and killed me. And I came over 3 or 4 times because of this as well. And you can actually see this happen in my walkthrough. I cut most of it out, but you can see me die once. So that little thing, and I think like episode 7, I don't know what episode it was, but yeah, that was a nightmare for me, and it made the game so unenjoyable. And then the grappling hook is back, but it is kind of hard to use, and it has a really bad reach, and doesn't feel as good to use as the original. I feel like it lost a lot of charm, but it's still a really good game, which is why it's number 3 spot. Number 2 is the original game, Little Big Planet 1. Create mode, fantastic, community, fantastic, and the story is so good. Each level is so fun and so creatively thought out with plenty of charm in each level, with some really memorable music and some of the most nostalgic. I have so many nostalgic memories of the first game. I haven't even played the first game, which just shows how good it is. I've seen videos on it, of course. I've seen the full walkthrough of this online, and it just looks so fun. Each level with a brand new theme, with really unique power-ups, and a really interesting story. Well, not interesting story, but a really, really fun story. And it's just a fun little game, which is why it's so high on this list. But number 1, you've probably already guessed this, but number 1 is Little Big Planet 2. What can I say about LBP 2? LBP 2 is a masterpiece. The creator has been experimented like never before, bringing a new feature called Sackbots, which completely revolutionized the game. You have So many great community. This was like the peak of Little Planet content. You had such extra DLC that was so good. Every costume was incredible, and the story mode. My God, I actually played the story at my cousin's house. I don't have PS3, but I played the story of the second game at my cousin's house. I loved it so much. It was so nostalgic for me to go back every time. I remember going to my cousin's birthday. I remember going to my cousin's birthday and being so excited to play Little Planet 2. PS kind of broke. It's kind of sad for me, but I remember going back there every time just so I could play. Just so I could play LPP2. I loved it to bits. It was so fun. The story was so engaging. It gave me such a warm feeling playing it, and it was nostalgic feelings for me. Going back to that first game, the second game, and the story levels are so perfectly done and are so fun. Bit easy, not too hard, and are really fun for kids. Perfect game for kids. Overall, story is incredible. I haven't played through the whole story, but I played through most of it, and it was incredible. The game is incredible, and that's why it's at number 1 spot. That is the end of this Little Planet ranking video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more Little Big Planet content. I want to hit 200 by February-ish, so that'll be kind of fun. But it's right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Sorry I spoke really fast. Bye-bye.